Janice's month. God.
It's two-faced God, the
But
beginning.
two-faced. So it's looking back and looking forward, and so we're going to be doing a little bit of both this morning. Look.
Yes, thank you. Welcome. And if I may invite you to just drop off everything from your mind that you learn at to listen place. And just give me a moment to close your eyes. And put both your feet, if you can, on the ground. You may bring your attention to your spine.
Can I make a name tag for you? Yes.
Imagine your spine.
Let me sign it.
And just feel it. From the bottom to the top. It's thick. And take a deep breath from the bottom of your spine. From the spine to the top.
There's a clipboard there if you
And
want.
think that you live here. This is where you come back to your core, your being, who you are. This is you. Now imagine two fast-growing roots going from the bottom of your spine through your two legs, shooting down through the earth, deep, deeper, quieter, dark, more and more silent. Think of this big, huge rock at the center of the earth, around which you can tie your roots. And you can ground it. Find that place where you're connected to the earth. And know that at all times you can always come back and ground yourself. And now as you climb up those roots to the earth, to your body, back to your spine again, take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, silently say your name. I am, then say your name, so that you fill yourself up with only your very presence. Because right now, and for the next hour or so, it's only going to be about you. About the very best that you and only you can give yourself. To be your highest self, to be your most joyous, happy, beautiful self in this lifetime. So this time is for you. Your wellness, your happiness, and no one gets to take that away from you. And only you can choose to be that. From this very place of authentic connection to yourself, I would invite you to think of what do you want to dream up for yourself this year in terms of your own well-being? What is your dream, your wellness dream, your wellness plan? To feel good and feel happy. What is it that you want? Imagine yourself without any limitation, painless, without any kind of illness that you think of today. How would your life be? All the things that you want to do and be, see yourself doing them. See yourself feeling that joy and life in your bones, in your flesh, in your body, in your soul, in your mind, in your heart. Know that no other time is better than now. And you have a choice. And with that dream in your nerves, in your eyes, in your heart, I welcome you to come back to the present, touch your body, and be here now in community, in collective, with all the support that you can get here now. And I welcome you to two people and a group I have found myself. I've been struggling with my health for the longest time. And the universe kind of gave this to me 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I came here to do marketing, but I have enrolled myself to this program now. I'm like, I'm not marketing here, I'm actually telling what's true for me. I am going to be the first person in the kind of journey that we are going to talk here today. So thank you, Joe. Thank you for opening up the space for me. And so I can speak authentically from my heart when I tell you that they are and will be helping me achieve my dream of wellness. And I hope today you get to listen to some ways that they can help you. Thank you for coming. Jill and Laura, please.
Thank you, Laura. So again, welcome. I am Joan Margaret, the chiropractor in this outfit, and Laura Knopf, nutrition consultant. And Christy, could you step forward? You all met her as you came in. She's our office goddess. And you just met Roke, who is our newest member. Christy's been here about 10 years, and Laura, 26.
1995.
Yeah.
Years.
Years. Geez.
Who knew, right?
Yeah.
You've been in practice
And I've
for...
been here since '89, so that's a lot of years, 27 or something. Yeah. And I was wanting to thank you for coming here to talk about your health. And yes, we will be offering our newest ideas for how to get well and stay well. That's the piece that I've been struggling with the whole time. How do we get people to maintain their health once they gain it? So let me tell you some of my qualifications. You may know bits and pieces of my history, but for today I put it all together. I became a chiropractor in order to be able to study a graduate program called Applied Kinesiology, because that's what I've fallen in love with here in Berkeley. And then I added an allergy elimination technique from Dr. Debbie Nagluderpod, and then just recently, the last 5 years or so, I've added brain health. So those are the tools that I have, but really the best part of it is the experience of working with many of you here and others for many years. And then, would you like to introduce yourself, and then I'll come back to a little bit of variety now.
Yeah, my name is Laura Knopf. I'm a certified nutrition consultant. I have a bachelor's of science in chemistry, with emphasis in biochemistry. I worked at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab for 8 years and worked in laboratories since teenage years, really, since I was in undergraduate school, and was exposed to a lot of chemicals. And throughout the years, that took its toll until finally, when I was at Lawrence Berkeley Lab, we had a re-roofing of our building, and they did not turn off the air intake on the roof, and they were applying superheated tar, and so I got so sick that my digestive system absolutely stopped working. Everything I ate went right through me. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months, and was very, very sick. Thank goodness I was already a client of Joan's, and she and my acupuncturist brought me back. So that's part of it. I had to change my diet radically. I was a vegetarian for economic reasons for 23 years, and then realized that that wasn't working. So I was willing to make changes in order to survive. And I've not only survived, but thrived in the years since. I feel healthier now at 61 than I was at 41. So it's definitely an improvement story. As long as you're breathing, you can improve anything. You can heal, you can get better. So, and it's a matter of in our society, unfortunately, working at it.
All right, well, I'd like to tell my personal story because it's illustrative of a lot of the things that we all struggle with. It started here with my going to a medical doctor who told me that my pap smear revealed that I was on my way to cancer. And he was insensitive to my questioning and my comments, and he was rough and hurtful to me and insulting, really. So I fired him, and then I fired the insurance company that supported him. And as I was studying homeopathy and muscle testing, like kinesiology already then, this was 1977, I decided that I should follow homeopathy. So I found a homeopath, world renowned actually, in Ohio, and I moved there from where I had grown up here in Berkeley and Oakland. And so we worked for 2 years together. She's a classical homeopath, for those of you who know about that. And then we were doing pap smears every 3 months, and then it turned to cancer. So in an envelope she sent to me in the mail, this was in December, so it was snowy and icy out and we couldn't travel the roads, so she sent me the diagnosis and the remedy, and I took it in 3 divided doses, and lo and behold, when I went to an oncology clinic a couple weeks later, there was no cancer. And so the real doctors at the cancer clinic had said, oh, it must have been a misdiagnosis. So I told that to my homeopath, MD, and she said, all right, then we'll have the original slide sent to their lab and see what they say. And it was cancer in December and no cancer in January. Long story short, I realized I needed to take care of myself better, that obviously I could not rely on the medical system to take care of my long-term health. I couldn't do that anymore. I was already on my road to not doing that, but it was very clear that my best health insurance really is my education. So I became a chiropractor so that I'd be my own doctor first, and then have other doctors of natural healing as my consultants. So that's how I got here. Then I started, hi Tamara, welcome. I started this Labrador's Healthcare Circle as soon as, about the next year, about 1990. And the various women have come to join the staff, and the 2 that have stuck the longest are Christy and Laura. And so it seemed the right time to try to put some of my ideas that I've had all these years into practice. So we are here today because, and this is the beginning of that work really, is to make a different kind of offering for healthcare. And what else? What was I going to say? Yeah, that was about it. Do you have anything else to comment on?
Well, I've been interested in nutrition since 1975 when I was in college and couldn't afford food, basically, so I switched to a vegetarian diet. But being a chemist, I decided I'd better look and see to make sure I was getting all the nutrients I needed and all the protein I needed. So I did try to follow that, and I took quite a lot of supplements, unfortunately. Didn't understand about organic foods at the time, and there was no access to high-quality pasture-raised animal products at that time. So I was still eating dairy and eggs frequently, but I still it wasn't quite enough. The diet was not right for my personal physiology. So I was not digesting my grains and beans very well, and eventually that spiraled down when I got that excessive toxic exposure. So the toxins combined and the stress I was under at the time combined to really undermine my digestive system. So as a result of that, I ended up having to give up grains and beans and nuts and seeds and switch to a Paleolithic style diet. And that made all the difference. My digestive system started working again. And I think the lesson for me was to realize that everyone's an individual. Everyone has their own specific needs for certain foods, and some foods work best, and some foods are okay, and some foods don't work at all. And by paying attention, by paying close attention and basically experimenting on yourself, you can see what things work best for you. When do you feel the most vibrant, the most energetic, the most present when you eat certain foods? And I also realized that it's not just the foods you eat, it's the lifestyle you have, it's the activity levels, it's the rest and relaxation. You know, California's big on exercise and, you know, people doing all that kind of stuff, and the diet, you know, everybody's out doing their green smoothies. But it's really a matter of all three, including the rest and relaxation, mental relaxation as well as physical relaxation. Things like sleep, for instance. So these are all very important factors that we need to keep in mind, and just because our society does not value any of them.
So I want to check on the heat situation. How are people in terms of hot or cold?
Comfortable?
Uncomfortable.
Are you? Okay. It occurs to me that if it gets too hot, and we could ask Christy to open the door, and it would
Oh, thanks.
bring in fresh air. So there's another option.
Do you want to have him do a short introduction?
Yes, please.
So, now my introduction was fairly long, Joan's was fairly long, but we'd like you to say your name and short minute how you found out why you're here, basically. So, you start at this end.
My name's Tamara, and I have some neurological stuff going on. I am having a lot of trouble sleeping, and I'm having extreme leg pain. So that's why I'm. Oh.
My name is Jane Snook, and I've known Joan for 100 years at least. And so I've been on her table, and I've been with her through a lot of the changes that she's done. I just love her energy, and I love that she does the Labyrinth Healthcare Circle, and Laura and Christy has been there, and now Rocco. Roke and I are in the dance community together, so I have a lot of pain and kind of not being able to get enough energy out. I need more energy, and so I've been changing my diet to vegetarian, which I think maybe is not the way. So anyway, that's it, 1 minute, I'm done.
Good job. Good job.
Good for you, Joe.
Period.
My name's Jessica. I am here mainly because my friend Nicolette brought me here. But I was very healthy until August, and then in August, it's just been a big storm of weird, random, crazy stuff. So started with iritis, and then that led to like an autoimmune disease, and then my gallbladder was full of stones, so that was removed, and then my parathyroid had a tumor, and so that was removed, and I'm sure there are other things, but like arthritis, and so in the last, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months or so, Yeah. My body has turned against me, and so I'm here to.
It's just not there.
I know, right? It's,
Pay attention. We need help. We need help here.
It's true. It's just the beginning. So.
And funnily enough, I'm Nicolette. We work together,
Yeah.
same age, and we both kind of have had this experience at the same time. So since last spring, I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis, and again, healthy up until then. I also have underactive thyroid. The doctors didn't really want to make the connection between the two. I tried a couple of medications, terrible side effects, felt worse than I felt without them. So picked up the third medication, which is injections. They're still in my fridge, and spoke with my acupuncturist who referred me here and said, now is the time to try something. I'm not ready for that next level of drugs.
Yeah.
I'm Sue. I've been here. I have low toxicity, dementia, and now I can't walk because of my knees. So when I walk, I was walking last in looking through my pictures, and I was up in the mountains, and I was fine. So I'm here to try to do something different.
Okay, I'm Sharon Jacobs, and I am a colon hydrotherapist, and I'm here because Dr. Margaret and Laura have been clients of mine for a while. And Dr. Margaret and I always have these wonderful conversations when she come in about how we can best help our clients to stay healthy, not only to help them get healthy, but to stay healthy. So I'm here in support of Dr. Margaret and Laura, but also to learn how to best serve my clients going forward too as well.
My name is Mary, and I have been a patient of Joan's for many years. And also, I just wanted to add that Laura is an instructor at a nutrition school, and I had the pleasure of being her student and also working with her individually. I'm a long-term cancer survivor, and I attribute my survivorship. I'm in my 18th year of pancreatic cancer, that type that Steve Jobs had, and I also have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I know that I'm here because of the work that I've done with Joan and the encouragement. I went to nutrition school just to try to figure out what to do, because 18 years ago I had 6 organs removed, or partial organs, and I have multiple issues. From no pancreas, makes me a diabetic, and I don't make enzymes in my body. So anyway, I'm complicated. But I'm very healthy and very active.
Yes.
Very healthy.
Yes.
And thank you both for your wisdom and willingness to deal with me.
It's a pleasure, Mary. Hi, my name is Delia, and most of my problems are joint related from a rough and tough lifestyle. I currently am quite healthy, but I realize what I can do for myself now is really going to affect and impact the next 20 years of my life. And as I'm enjoying health, I realize that that can change in a heartbeat. And so I want to get behind it, or actually ahead of it, wherever I have to be, intersect it. And I was curious about this, and I'm close by, and I thought it's a resource that I want to make available to myself.
Great. My name's Megan, and I'm here in a way because Joan and I are neighbors, and I liked her paint job. We started singing together, and with Christy too, and Laura too. And I have been struggling with depression since forever, and other, more physical sort of things are getting to be higher on my mind too. Arthritis, and I had a knee injury, and now I seem to be into insomnia. So there's probably other issues, but that's enough for the moment.
It's always on.
I'm Maggie, and for the moment I feel pretty healthy, but like you said, prevention. And I've known Joan Margaret for several years and loved her. And this is my first opportunity to be here at the Lapras Health Center, and I really appreciate it.
I'm Sherry, and I found Dr. Margaret through my MD, and I'm very grateful to have found her. I was really healthy, similar to other people's story, until the birth of my second child, and that changed things in me. Still don't really know what happened, but the last probably 21 years I've been just chasing different health issues, mostly allergy related and symptom related, so I can get one area of my body where I'm experiencing fewer symptoms, and then it seems to move to another area. So I feel like I'm chasing allergies and symptoms, and I'm also an empath, so it's like, okay, is this mine or someone else's? And that's, I'm learning that too, and learning how to get rid of it when it's someone else's, but I just want to get better and keep going.
I'm Melinda, a fairly new transplant from LA. Came up to be a hands-on grandparent to our 7-year-old granddaughter. Just before Thanksgiving, acute allergic response to something. I still don't know what, but I look like a tomato.
Oh,
And
yes.
swelled and flaky and peeling and rashy, and it's like, okay, something has my attention. I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
I'm glad you're here too.
Yeah.
I am Marnie Angelo. I suffer from migraines, which I've had since I was about 13, and so just taking multiple different medications, and also suffering from depression and anxiety. So I'm trying to feel better without the use of things that I'm getting from the pharmacy all the time. And I'm also very I've spent my entire life, I feel like, always taking care of other people and putting them first. And so now my resolution was to take care of me first, so then I can take care of them better. And it's at the suggestion of my husband, Brian, who he saw Dr. Joan, 10 years ago or so, and has always sung her praises. So that's why we're here today.
Thank you.
And last but not least.
I'm Brian, and so as Marty said, I have visited Joan before. I've been a client of hers as many as 10 years ago due to a pretty bad injury that I got in a motorcycle accident, and she was able to do what I was trying to avoid surgery, and we thankfully did that. And so very thankful, and I have been touting her for so long, so I'm actually great that Marnie has joined today.
Oh,
So great. Very glad to be here.
Thank you all for being here.
Can I say why I'm here?
Yes.
Okay. Someone, you take me. So I'm here because I have a lot of bad things. Like I smoke.
Yeah, you do smoke.
Which I desperately need to quit. I have arthritis, and from smoking I have like emphysema and all that stuff. But I don't eat well, I don't drink water, like the whole body, like the whole body is like, you better do something now, otherwise, I'm going to turn 50. So I want to trust my future self, so that I make changes now instead of waiting for 10 more and like, and I have depression, like mind, body, spirit, I have all kinds of things mucking me around. So I need an overall like, turnaround.
All right.
So let's first look at the current health system and determine for us what works, what doesn't work, and then we'll go into what opportunity that we're doing here. What have you found works in the current healthcare system for you? What kinds of things have you used it for successfully?
Avoidance.
Sorry.
avoidance of what, facing,
Western medical
trying to avoid,
Yes,
well, I think
that
that's
works well for me.
Yeah, it has for me too.
Testing, the Western medical system is very good at some tests.
Yes,
Mhm.
diagnostic testing,
Diagnostic, yeah.
yeah.
What works for me has been like when I've been emergency, like
Emergency care.
amazing. Ambulance, 911, they take and they fixed me. That has really worked for me.
Yeah, acute care, accident care, crisis
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I had a great midwife when I had my daughter.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And some would say midwives are not really in that
Right.
allopathic mode.
Yeah. So, anything else that we've found that's really,
That's
really
the
worked
basis.
for us? Okay.
Chiropractor.
Well, we're also kind of outside the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when you
And
talk
I'll
about the
talk about that.
alternatives,
I'll
you
talk
know,
about that in a minute.
the biggest problem with the major system we have is it's only good for that kind of acute crisis care. Accidents, putting you together after an accident, stitching you up, setting your broken bones, that kind of thing, they're great at it. It's the nuts and bolts kind of stuff. But when it comes to the chemistry, when it comes to the metabolism, when it comes to the chronic stuff, they don't have much.
So they've got tools, drugs and surgery.
That's their,
And that's what they
Whichever.
use for crisis care, which works great, and then they use it for chronic care, and it doesn't. Because chronic care in this country is skyrocketing. We're the 37th industrialized country in poor health, we're way down there, and yet we spend more money, some of us do. As a country, we spend more money per capita, let's put it that way, and it's about to go down because of our new President-elect's program. But since we're getting sick and sicker, we need us, grassroots, to figure out how to make those changes so that we're not a part of those statistics and step out of the allopathic systems, like I'm proposing. And of course, you wouldn't be here if you weren't probably agreeing with that. But one of the problems with the conventional healthcare model is that it dominates the system that you were mentioning. And so there was I want to tell you about what's it called, antitrust suit that was brought by 4 chiropractors against 11 defendants. And there was the hospital association and the anesthesiologists and the physical therapists and all these folks in the allopathic.
The American Medical Association.
And they were also, of the 11 or 13 defendants, all but the AMA, which was the most arrogant of the bunch, they all settled out of court. Now the chiropractors were not asking for monetary damages. But this was a circuit court of appeals in the Chicago region, and it was a female judge, as a matter of fact. And she found that they were totally guilty of excluding other healthcare models from the marketplace, specifically chiropractors and acupuncturists. And so they were slapped on the wrist and told to place in prominent newspapers call it a recognition that this is what was happening and that they're going to change their ways. And so there now are a few chiropractors who are on staff in a few hospitals, but this is like, what? That was 1989, the same year I came out of chiropractic college. And it had been going through the courts for 11 years. So there's not much that's changed since then, but some, yeah. But this is, yeah, so. Another case I'd like to talk about. So it started with, I should say, the AMA's Committee on Quackery in 1910, something like that. And that committee went for 10 or 15 years, and then because it was really obviously not the way to go, they took the name off of the committee, but they kept doing their suppression of other healthcare modalities. And so this is where snake oil, the term was used, and quacks. you know. So anybody who wasn't an MD on their side and in their marketplace was a quack. So that's where that comes from. And then I want to tell you about another case which has to do with, and this was in some western state. I don't remember, I haven't read it in a long time, although it's in my file cabinet. It was a workers' comp insurance, either an insurance company or more likely an association of insurance companies that do workers' compensation. And they were interested in how long and how much money they spent per case getting injured workers with low back pain back to work. And chiropractors got their injured patients back to work in twice the time. And half the time, and for half the cost, or a quarter the cost. It was like dramatic. So that's the background as to why we are in the sidelines, and all of us here are wanting to use these sidelines and actually overtake the medical system and do it right. That's my feeling anyway.
And the other sad thing is that the insurance companies are in league with the AMA and the other mainstream. And so they're unwilling to pay for alternative, or they're very limited pay for alternative modalities such as chiropractic and acupuncture. When even though it's proven that these things can be a long-term direct help to the underlying causes of the problems. So at much less cost and certainly much less intervention with the clients. I mean, you know, surgery and drugs is, you know, it's poisoning or breaking and entering. So, you know, either way, that's pretty drastic. And that's, I'm not against those things when necessary, but, you know, that's not, should not be our first line of attack on these situations.
And so I think of there as being obstacles to healing. And one of those is insurance. Well, let's go to the media. The media presents heroic heroic medical procedures all the time, and it's important in our emergency rooms and elsewhere that we have those, and we do. We have those skills now throughout our society. It's fabulous. But it prevents us from learning how to take care of ourselves in a different way. I'll come back to that in a minute. Insurance companies, I think, are another obstacle to our healing because they trap us in the allopathic model. And that was my firing my doctor and then firing the insurance company. It's like, out of here, what's this about? Gosh. And then controlling the whole thing is the pharmacy industry. And they prevent us from finding out about our bodies naturally and our abilities to heal. And so those are all obstacles to our healing ourselves. And it's a sad thing, but that's what I've come to and why I decided many years ago just not to rely on them at all. So I haven't seen an MD in 40 years, really. And my best insurance, health insurance, is my education. And if I turn to, well, now sometimes you need crutches, so I shouldn't use that example, but then I'm not spending my attention, my time learning about how to heal myself. And that's what I need to do, is put my attention to foods and movement and these kinds of things.
One other thing I want to mention is that the same companies, the same corporations that are in charge of the pharmaceuticals are also now controlling a lot of the food industry.
Mm-hmm.
So the food they're selling us is making us sick, and then they sell you a pill to try to fix that.
Right.
It's a pretty interesting situation.
And
Works for them.
here's an article that was in September of the AARP magazine, which is about warning us about the dangers of medical care, which is now the third, well actually it's iatrogenic, that's a big word meaning doctor-caused illness, is the third leading cause of death after heart disease.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we've got to really take this seriously, not only personally, but especially for the society.
And several years ago, there was a doctor strike in Italy, and the people that complained the most were the undertakers. It really their business declined by a noticeable percentage, so,
Why?
yeah. So.
Why did it decline?
Why? Because people weren't being overdosed and surgically killed.
An infection.
Infections, yeah, infections is a major thing, but also even, mistakes or not recovering from surgery, not recovering from anesthesia. So those kinds of things happen.
Yeah, doctors, hospitals lobby extensively to prevent people from knowing what the infection rates are.
Infection rates and lawsuits and all those.
Mortality
kinds of-
rates.
Yeah, mortality
Yeah.
rates.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So consequently, we're
We're on our own.
Give us some hope. This is like so much despair. Now tell us, give us hope.
We're trained in crisis care thinking and in fear-based thinking, and that's what, of course, we want to change.
And now we have Trump. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Another day.
so all the things we need to do for ourselves. We need to learn as much as we can, not just about the system that's out there, but our own systems, how we work, what works best for us. And that, as a scientist, I think of it as paying attention. Science is really just paying attention and keeping notes, and then looking back at the notes and making changes. That's all science is, and that's all medicine used to be. But we're looking at a different mode, a different way of thinking about this is, what are the foundations for health?
Right, so I'd like us all to build our confidence in our own healing abilities. And this, maybe we can just review, many of us maybe had this back in high school or whatever, but I'd like to review what the immune system is about, and you can help me on this. What we're each of us born, and plants and other animals are born into this world with an immune system that is called innate. And it's right there working every second to keep us healthy. And
To maintain balance in the body.
right, to maintain balance. And then in our childhood, we develop what's called an adaptive immune system. Is that the right name?
Yeah, actually humoral, but yes, it's an
Yeah.
adaptive system.
And so we learn, and those of us who have experienced NAET, this kind of hooks in here, we learn when on first exposure, let's say measles at age 5, that maybe we've never seen measles before as an invader in the body, but the adaptive immune system, as it's developing, then reacts to that and learns from that experience so that on subsequent exposures, it knows immediately what to do, whereas the innate immune system is working, but it doesn't have to learn about it. It gives a more broad workings on that invader. So
Yeah.
Mary or Laura.
Yeah, so the innate immune system is there to, whatever is coming in, it'll engulf it and destroy it and eliminate it. But the learned immune system, the humoral immune system, it creates a chemical response, a biological response, and it creates something called antibodies. You all have heard of antibodies?
Yeah.
Antibodies are little proteins that actually attach to whatever invader, and they're custom made. So when you see, when the body has something it's already made antibodies against, those antibodies are sent out, they attack the invader before it has a chance to cause any damage. And that's how our immunity builds up. So the first time you may encounter something, you may get a little bit sick, and as your immune system works, it will attack and learn how to, at about 5 days or so it takes to make those antibodies. So you may have a cold or some illness for about 5 days or a week, and then it goes away. And once you've had measles or chickenpox or whatever, your body remembers, there's memory cells, and it remembers that particular organism, that particular invader, and it has the custom-made template already set up, so it can go out and get those within, you may not even know you have encountered those viruses or bacteria again. Your body takes care of you. However, there are things that interfere with this.
Obstacles.
Very big obstacles. One is your nutrition. You have to have the nutrients, all of them. Your body needs everything all the time in order for your immune system to do its work, to be able to, the innate system to work, and for the learned system to work. So, and that's a constant thing. Just because you had good food a week ago doesn't mean you still have enough nutrients to deal with it now. So our food. The other thing that can interfere with that are toxins. So the stuff in our environment, the stuff we encounter, the things we intentionally get and the things we accidentally get are going to affect how well our nutrients are going to work for us. Whether we have enough to get rid of the invader and the toxin, or just get rid of the invader, or just get rid of the toxin. If you don't have enough, it's a balancing act. Everybody says, well, I don't know, I have to prioritize here. And sometimes it doesn't do the thing we would like. Symptoms are our body's signals to us that something is not right, that there's something going on. It's kind of like the smoke alarm. Something's wrong. And if you hear a smoke alarm and all you do is yank out the battery, you're going to be pretty hot pretty quick. So the thing is that those alarms, especially when they're subtle, if we pay attention to them when they're subtle, then we don't have to have the crisis care for when things really fall apart. You don't have to find a new house when your house burns down. You have taken care of it, you've turned off the heater when the smoke starts. So that's the kind of thing that we have to learn, is that symptoms are our friends. Symptoms are telling us. The problem is we've never really learned what those symptoms mean. Our ancestors used to know. Our ancestors would have food and herbs and rest and activity and movement and massage and all these kinds of things to get us back to where we need to be. But nowadays it's like, take a pill, call me in the morning. That's it. So we've been shortchanged in the knowledge. Our goal is to help you learn how to take care of yourself in various steps. And as I mentioned, nutrition, the first thing is what you eat, but also how you eat, how much you absorb of what you eat, and whether you can get rid of your waste products. So all of that is the first aspect for building health. Now, if you just eat the right foods but never move and never sleep, you're still going to be in trouble. If you also have a large toxic burden, that's going to still be a problem. So we live in an industrial city area, the metropolitan area. It's hard to avoid all the toxins, but there are certainly some that we can do something about in our own home environments, in our work environments, and of course the food we eat and our other activities. So those are big, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to add that over the last 6 to 7 years, I've had most of my immune system cut out from childhood to, a lot of your immune system is in your gut. And so the deal for me is, if I don't take care of myself, I won't survive. And so all these things that I have to do to detox, so I don't have a duodenum, so I don't have the organ that absorbs nutrients.
Well, that's part of the organ.
Part of the organ. And so, I'm constantly having to try to keep my gut. And I would imagine everyone in here has gut issues, whether you're aware of it or not. And, it's just at first it was overwhelming what I needed to do, but then it's like brushing your teeth. You set it up, you do it, and you stay on top of it. And it's not that hard, actually. And I know that when I go off that track, I have symptoms immediately, and they knock me down, and I start over again. But it's a lot of work. It's a full-time
For most of us, those symptoms are easy to ignore.
Yeah.
And until they get critical, or there's removal of parts, then that thing can make a big difference. But still, we have to figure this out. And the program Joan is offering is one that can really step by step lead us through, and gently and with support, so that we can follow through. Because knowing what to do is not the same as doing it. Duh. There's also issues with problems with absorption of nutrients, which will help us do the things we do. Making energy. Making energy is important for all kinds of healing. But if you can't get all the nutrients your body needs, and the cells are not up and ready to go, then they're not going to make the energy to heal, to help you move around, to help you think, oh, I need to buy this at the store, not that. Those sorts of things. So those are the things we want to help with. So tell us about the program, Joan.
Okay, well, we think that it's a better model than conventional medicine, and maybe that's not hard, but, and there are reasons for that. There's a big reason is that we do it in groups instead of individual sessions. So Brian, this is the big change that I'm suggesting. And so we have classes, and Laura and I each teach a couple of those, and we have a curriculum. And the curriculum is, that's the piece where we want you to get it, that once we can get your health improved in 3 months, is our time that we're going to be working together intensely. Then after that 3 months, we need to maintain that health. So regain it and then maintain your health. That's the option that we're looking at. And Laura and I see people reverse their diseases all the time. It's this part about maintaining health that seems to be difficult. We're calling it optimal wellness, just because that's, you know, we're all of us on a different level of our health and looking to get it better yet. And then once you get that one, guess what? There's another level that you can go to and like that. So the program also involves a lot of mentoring and some wellness books. And what other things do we have?
So, some individual sessions as well.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry. There are 3 individual sessions with me in the 3 months, and they involve both exam and treatment. Part of that probably involves some Manbutripod allergy elimination technique sessions, and we can talk more about that. But basically, it's...
Can you explain a little bit about what NAET is?
Sure. NAET was invented by a woman from India whose name is Devi Namboodrapad, and she experimented on her own body and went both to chiropractic and acupuncture school and had those tools. She had muscle testing and acupuncture. And then she found when she could treat herself, she could get rid of all these many symptoms that she had. When she went to an AK doctor, applied kinesiologist, he told her exactly what she was allergic to. And so she changed her diet radically and was able to eat only cauliflower and white rice.
It's too limited.
Very not enough nutrition.
Yeah.
But she was better in her health on that or some, but she was still making foods for her family, and touching the foods that she was allergic to would give her reactions. And one day she was cutting a carrot and she fell to the floor because she was having a reaction, drop attack to this carrot. And no, she didn't faint. She called to her husband to bring her needles. She needled herself as she had been taught to get rid of the symptoms. And then she waited for 20 minutes, which is the common thing in acupuncture, to leave the needles in for 20 minutes. And then she was able to get up and she felt pretty normal, but she looked on the floor and there was a piece of carrot. And the carrot had been against her skin. And that was the beginning of NAET. While she was being treated, and that's where she learned what NAET was about.
What does that stand for?
Namboodrapad allergy elimination technique. And she decided to call it an allergy against all of Western medicine who think that they know what an allergy is. She says no. In addition, it's a blockage of the meridian system.
The energies. And
the chi that flows in those meridians is blocked. And where the symptom is where the blockage is. So, fascinating way of looking at it. Totally different from Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic.
But you don't use needles
Western.
for NAET treatments?
No. So I'm not an acupuncturist, but she was a chiropractor, and she wanted her technique to be used by chiropractors as well as acupuncturists and others. So she decided to use sound, because really what we need is to stimulate the points. And the points are along the spine in the back. And when you stimulate those points while she wasn't doing that to herself while she was on the floor. She was doing other points, but that's a detail. So Anyway, while you're touching the thing that you're allergic to, which you discover through muscle testing, and I already had muscle testing down when I went to her and learned her technique, so I was ahead of the crowd there. But then you can change the mind. There's information in the meridian system. The chi knows things. And it's really the adaptive, you're saying the humoral immune system that's learning about things. Well, it learns more than just about bacteria or virus and wanting to get rid of it or engulf it. It's also learning to keep you away from that carrot. You know, so it's going to give you a symptom as soon as you touch it, or it's going to give you a, I don't think I want carrots today, just in your mind. If you're looking at an array of foods to eat and you're thinking, carrots, no, I don't think so, because your chi knows that's not good for you. So it gets very confusing when there's like everything is.
The other aspect of NAAT is perhaps you had eaten carrots and then got bad news, really bad news, and had an emotional reaction. That would change your relationship to carrots in general. The other aspect would be, what if the carrot had pesticides on it? And you know, your body knows the pesticides are there, and every time it comes in, there's a carrot attached. So it's like, no, we're not going to go with the carrot. So those can also train the immune system to say, that's not a good food for you, and cause sometimes subtle, sometimes more severe reactions when you have that. The subtle reactions can also add up. A bunch of subtle reactions together could cause something you notice, but you don't really notice them when you're by themselves or when you're feeling less stressed.
And the Dr. Devi was brilliant. People can't say Nambudrapad, so we quickly changed it to Dr. Devi to refer to the inventor of this technique. And she was brilliant both in using sound for the stimulation of the acupoints, and also to go away from the individual foods and go to more basic nutrients.
So even she was going to the underlying causes.
The underlying causes is the point.
I have a question. So if a person doesn't necessarily present with symptoms from allergies, will muscle testing still find something different that you?
You also use muscle testing for testing the efficacy of organ systems. So.
Yeah, you can be allergic to anything. You can be allergic to, in the carrot example, vitamin A, but you can also be allergic to your liver. If it's had a traumatic surgical procedure, for instance, you might just be allergic to your own liver. Or
the toxins in it.
So how does that manifest?
Well, the liver is very involved in energy production and blood sugar regulation and repair of all tissues.
So affect your blood sugar.
So if your liver is impacted in some way, you may not absorb your fat-soluble vitamins. And so what happens then is that your skin, eyes, the hair can get very dry, your thyroid may start to decline some, your immune system, you may get frequent colds and flu, you may have upper respiratory things, just from vitamin A deficiency alone. Vitamin D is another fat-soluble vitamin, so that's your bones and your connective tissue, your teeth. You know, so what causes dental decay is not just sugar, it's a lack of nutrients all the way around and a lack of balance. So when we give our bodies everything it needs, that's why I say your body needs everything all the time. When you give your body all the nutrients and it can digest those foods and you have the ability to properly absorb those foods and the liver's not overwhelmed in trying to metabolize those foods, and your kidneys and your bowel are able to eliminate waste products, when all those things are working, when every cell membrane is able to accept the nutrients into the cell, when the mitochondria, the little powerhouses of the cell, are able to make energy and do the thing that each cell is meant to do, then you've got health. It's not difficult, it's effortless under those circumstances. Unfortunately, stress interferes, toxins interfere, trauma, accidents and injuries interfere. Drugs and surgery interfere. Addictions interfere. And when I say addictions, I also include sugar in that category. Sugar's addictive. And you know, there's a genetic component. Everybody has a genetic component. We know that there's a genetic component. That just means you have to pay more attention to that specific situation than other people do. If you have people in your health family members that have problems with blood sugar or problems with heart disease or anything, you know you need to spend a little more